Hi guys, I'm Sarah, the Real Simple Mama, and today we're going to talk about getting started buying and selling on Poshmark. So I wanted to do this video as a way to help explain to friends and anybody else who's interested about what Poshmark is and why it might be a good option for you to either buy or sell things. And before we go any further, my usual disclaimer, I am not affiliated with Poshmark or PayPal or Venmo or any other service we're going to talk about. So they're not paying me. I'm not affiliated with them. I'm not employed by them. So I'm going to say whatever I want. And Poshmark is something that I started probably in the last 6 or 8 months. And it's been great for certain things and it's been frustrating in a few others. And one of the things that's frustrating about it, and the reason I'm making this video, is because I feel like there are some little quirks and nuances about Poshmark that it helps if you have somebody explaining it to you a little bit, instead of you just going in cold and trying to figure out what the heck is going on. So this is just going to be a basic guide. I'm not going to tell you every single trick and like some more advanced things that I have done. This is just, if you've kind of maybe heard about it, or you're just seeing this on my channel and you're kind of curious about what it is. So let's explain first, what is Poshmark? Poshmark is a website or an app that is a hub or like a central place for individuals to buy and sell things. They are in the United States and Canada, anywhere that the US Postal Service, or what I'm going to call USPS, anywhere that they deliver. I believe that does include PO boxes in the United States, and of course apartments and things like that. So the way it works is Poshmark technically does not make their own products at all. There's not a Poshmark brand socks or rings or anything like that. They don't make anything. So they are a service, not a product. They're a service that allows people to interact with each other. It's sort of like eBay. And so that's kind of the concept there. But like I said, there are some kind of weird things about it. So let's talk about just getting started and some basic things that I have found worked for me. One of the good things about Poshmark, and one reason why I was kind of like, no, I can do this video, and I'm not going to make any money from Poshmark by telling you about them or anything like that. So I just have honestly made some money with stuff sitting around in my house, clothes I'm not wearing, that kind of thing. So let's talk about, what does Poshmark usually buy and sell on their site and on their app? They do mostly clothes, shoes, jewelry, and accessories, but they do have home furnishings on there. People sell like little live plants, keychains, all kinds of crazy stuff. But what I have had most luck in buying and selling has been clothes, and that's for women, men, kids, and babies. Shoes for everybody as well. Purses, handbags, all different kinds of jewelry, and just accessories and that kind of thing. Some of the other nice things about Poshmark is that the items don't have to be super luxury brand. It doesn't have to be Gucci and Coach and $200 jeans and stuff like that. It can be Walmart brand or Old Navy or, something like that. And another thing that's nice is it's an opportunity for you to buy or sell things that are used. So you can sell things, and they have little markers for different items. They have things that are new with tags, and you can mark your items as such so that people know. But a lot of it is just things that are used and you don't want anymore. Let's say you've lost some weight and you want some money for a new wardrobe. That's what I had to do. My son grows really super fast, so we had some pairs of shoes that he only wore a couple times, and now they're too small. So instead of you just donating these items, or you don't have a receipt, you can't go back to the store and get store credit or get your money back, Poshmark is a great opportunity. Another thing that's nice about Poshmark is it is free for you to have an account. It's free for you to download the app forever and ever, amen. There's no monthly fee, there's no subscribing service or anything like that. So you can be on there for 5 years and never buy or sell anything, and you haven't paid a dime. So let's start talking about how you could get started and kind of how the Poshmark process works. Now, I am a buyer and a seller on there. You can find me, Real Simple Mama, if you're interested. But the way Poshmark works is people list items in what's called their closet, which is like their shop. And again, you can identify if you've got something that's new with tags or if it's in very good condition and things like that. You put up the item with a ton of photos, and you put a descriptor in there, you put in the size and all of the different qualities about it, the measurements, the material, all of that kind of stuff. And then you put a list price. And Poshmark works sort of like a bargaining back and forth. So the price that you list something at is not necessarily the price you're going to make on it. So that's something to keep in mind. And Poshmark has been great for me on those instances like I just talked about, where it's something whereas like if I don't have the receipt, if it's not new anymore, I wasn't going to be able to get any money for this. I was just going to donate it or give it away or throw it out or something. But now I'm able to make a little bit of money. So it's a great opportunity if you are like me. I had more than one purse. I don't need more than one purse, and they were both in great condition, so I sold one. And before we go further, this is one thing that's a little bit sneaky about Poshmark. Poshmark, like I said, they don't make a product, right? There's not Poshmark brand clothing or anything like that. So what's in it for them? And there's no subscription service, right? There's no membership. There's no cost to download the app or to create an account. How does Poshmark make their money? So Poshmark makes their money in two different ways, and we'll talk about this for a minute before we go on. Poshmark makes a little bit of money from the buyer and a little bit of money from the seller. And they also have an affiliation with USPS, which is nice because you get the pre-printed label and you get priority shipping, but you pay for it. So for example, if I am buying and selling something, then if I'm the seller and I list this item, when I offer it to people, I know that I'm going to pay Poshmark in two different ways. They take a little percentage off of the actual item price. For example, if I sell something for $15, they take almost $3 out of that instantly. So when I list something for 15, in my mind, I'm mentally calculating, I'm really only going to make 12 on this max. Okay. Then there's the chance that somebody may offer lower. And then I'm also going to pay a couple bucks for shipping. The way Poshmark works is they have a deal with the U.S. Postal Service, and they just changed their rates in the last couple of months because the USPS rates went up, so Poshmark adjusted as well. And for each item, by default, the shipping is $7.11, which is a heck of a lot. And it's that for this pair of earrings. Actually, both of these pairs of earrings are from Poshmark. Oops. These were a free gift. And these little butterfly ones, I paid $7 for these earrings, but then I also paid tax. And the shipping for these was also $7.11, like a little pair of silver earrings that are on a card that weigh like nothing. Shipping was $7.11. So Poshmark has that deal with USPS, and then they take a couple bucks off of the sale price. If you are the buyer, you are usually overpaying for shipping, which of course goes to Poshmark. So again, I can't remember if the seller of these earrings, for example, helped pay for my shipping, which you can do that. You can say, okay, well, I'll pay $2 of your shipping. But in other words, these they're bee earrings, these bumblebee earrings, I paid $7 to the seller. But then when you go to actually check out, it was $7 plus tax plus $7.11 in shipping. So really, you get excited like, wow, silver earrings for $7. No, they were 15, which still, they were new silver earrings for $15, but you have to kind of be careful. And that's one of the sneaky things about Poshmark. Let's talk about how I think you should get started on Poshmark so you could kind of figure out the bargaining thing. Because in my opinion, the two things that are most confusing about Poshmark are remembering that there's really kind of a go back and forth usually between buyer and seller as far as, I listed it at this. Okay, well, would you take this? No, but I'll take this. Oh, but what about this? Oh, okay, well, I'll take that, but then you pay for shipping. Okay, there's a lot of back and forth. So the number you see isn't really the number you get. Does that make sense? And the other thing that you kind of have to be doing in your mind and calculating is whether you're the buyer or the seller, Poshmark's making a couple bucks off of you. So you have to be thinking about, okay, well, is my profit going to go down because I'm helping the buyer pay for shipping? If I'm the buyer, am I, there's just different things that are going back and forth. So here's what I suggest you do. There's two things that I recommend to my friends, and I think 3 friends have gotten started. And again, I don't get any perks from them joining Poshmark or anything like that. It's just, hey, I'm making some money while I'm stuck at home. Might as well do it too. The 2 things that I suggest you do. The first is go around your house, go around your closet, and we're talking anything that you could easily ship that's not super heavy Or they get kind of weird if you've got liquid items, especially open liquid items, like you're selling like, I don't know, a bottle of shower gel that just smells weird and you don't like it. So be careful on liquids and be careful on stuff that's really heavy. But other than that, I mean, if you've got like little art hangings or little figurines, jewelry, whether it's like real silver and real gold or like a real expensive, like a Rolex watch or something like that, or even if it's just like fashion type jewelry, hair accessories, unopened makeup, don't try to sell used makeup. Of course, clothes, shoes, belts, purses, wallets, sunglasses, all kinds of stuff like that. Kind of look around your house and think about some items that you would be willing to sell, knowing that you're not going to get like full retail price for them. But at the same time, if it's an item that you're not using, that nobody's wearing, right now it's sitting in your house taking up space and not making you anything. So just kind of think about that. Looking at kind of like, okay, I would sell this for a minimum of whatever. And honestly, there are some dresses that I have sold in the last couple of weeks, dresses and rompers and things. I bought them on Poshmark without really checking the measurements or thinking, oh, that would work for me. And I got one dress and it's too small, and I got another outfit and it's just, I just don't like it. The color looks weird on me. And so what I did is I thought, okay, that was my bad. It was my loss, right? That was my mistake. Oops. So I would be happy even if I just make $3.90 back. And on some of those items I do. Sometimes I make only like $4 at a time. But while you're at it, to kind of help you get an idea of, okay, what's fair? What's the going price? I would create an account on Poshmark. And the way you create your account, like your profile, it's kind of weird because somebody's store or the items they have for sale, like I said, is called your closet. But when you create your profile, and you can put a photo of yourself, they make you create your profile almost like it's an item in your closet. Like you're putting yourself for sale. Like you give yourself a numerical amount, like how much are you going for? And it's kind of weird. And so you put, like mine says, meet your posher, Sarah. And I just put like a 1-sentence little bio. I don't need people reading about, anything personal with me. And you put whatever you want to put in your profile. But one thing that is smart about Poshmark is, and this is private, but you put all of your sizes in. For example, in shoes, I wear a women's 7. In clothes right now, I wear a women's 8 or a medium in most stuff. And you can put your sizes in on different things. And then what I suggest you do, so you've created your profile, which is totally free, no commitment, no nothing. The other thing I recommend that you do is pretend you're going to be the buyer first and get an idea of what listings look like, how the bargaining process works and stuff like that before you start listing things and you don't really know what you're doing. Be the buyer first. It's easier to be the buyer first. So what I suggest you do is think about something that you would be like interested in maybe buying. And it could be new only, but just think about an item where whether it's a bikini top, you need new running socks, you want some ties for work, anything like that, and go type it up and search it. Now they have a whole bunch of filters you can do. You can search by specific sizes, specific colors, a price range, all of those things, and you'll start to see all of these items. Click around on some of them, see the types of pictures that people put up, see how many people have liked an item, and that's what we're going to talk about in a second. See the listing price, and kind of get a feel for, okay, this is what people usually put in their listings. They put a description where they got it, or if it's used, if it has any flaws or stains, stuff like that, you want to disclose. And then look at the like option, which is where there's a little heart and you can click on it. If you click on it, that's not technically a commitment, but kind of. And let me explain. This is another quirky, weird thing about Poshmark. The way that the little heart works is it saves that little item for you in a section called your likes. So you can go back and find that item and keep an eye on it. But it also lets the seller know, they get a little notification, a little ping that you have liked their item. So now they know that they have that item for sale, right? That doesn't mean you have to buy anything. You don't have to pay anything or anything like that. They just know that you are interested. They see you like browsing their window, right? So at that point, the seller can do a couple of different things. They can either just sit back and not do anything. They're not in a hurry to sell it. They don't want to lower the price, whatever. Or they can make you an offer, which is sent to you, and all offers are good for 24 hours. And it has to be, it has to come from one party and be accepted by the other party within 24 hours, or it goes away. So the seller, if they want, and I always do this, I get, my little notifications that somebody has liked an item. I go in immediately and give them an offer. The offer, if I choose to give them an offer, that means I'm offering lower than what the price actually says. So if I'm selling running shoes for $20, somebody likes it. If I go in to send them a little specific offer to them, I have to lower it to at least 18. I have to lower it by 10%. And then I can say, I'll pay for all of your shipping, which is another $7 out of my profit. Or I'll pay a couple of bucks off of your shipping, or I'm not going to help you with shipping at all. And then I send my thing, I played my move, and now I wait. And now the buyer can either say, yes, I accept what Sarah sent, or I'm going to counter, and then we just keep going back and forth, or I decline. And at any point, if anybody stops and says, nope, I'm done, then of course that offer is gone. Nobody's paid anything until both parties have confirmed, yes, this is what we want to do. So this is something that's interesting to play around with. So of course, like I said, if you like an item, it doesn't mean that you're definitely going to buy it, but it is sort of starting a conversation with the seller. So those are the two things that I recommend you do at first. Like I said, is grab some items from your house that you might want to list, but don't worry about doing it yet. And then go start shopping around. Maybe if you know you want to sell like this heart necklace that you've got, go search for heart necklace and kind of see what the competition is. Does that make sense? And like items if you want, and then you can kind of go back and forth on the negotiating process. I don't like that Poshmark isn't super transparent about the fees that they take. I've actually made a little infographic that's in my closet that says, hey, I want to work with you. I want to negotiate with you and give you a fair offer. But please remember that Poshmark makes me pay at least $2.95 for your shipping. And when I sell something, they take at least $2 off of that price. So whatever I'm offering you, remember, I'm making even less than that. So basically it's asking you to be considerate. So let's talk about a couple of other goofy things with Poshmark before I let you out into the world to go try to make some money. One thing that I have enjoyed with Poshmark, and I buy and sell on Poshmark, the way they handle money and the way they have taken care of me in the past is something that I do appreciate for all of their quirks and like weird little goofy things and the money that they're making. So for example, one thing that I really appreciate with them is that there's no credits or coins or anything like that. It's just actual US dollars. It's cash. And they will let you use your bank account. They will let you use Apple Pay or Android Pay. They will let you use PayPal, and I think they let you use Venmo also. So let's say I sell something and I have money in my account, right? Like the transaction has gone through, it's complete, I'm paid. I don't have to keep that money sitting in Poshmark. I don't have to wait until I've made like $50 minimum or whatever. That money is as good as mine, it's cash, and I can transfer it into my bank account whenever I want with no fees, no delays, no nothing. So I appreciate that. The last little quirky thing I wanted to talk to you about, it's actually a good thing, but it's kind of confusing, is what Poshmark does with the money during a transaction. So let's say I have sold, I'll keep using that weird example of my $20 running shoes. I sold it and I'm actually gonna make, I don't know, $14 on it, okay? When the transaction goes through and the buyer has said, yes, I want it for that price, ship it, done, yes. Then I get a shipping label so that I know I need to pack it within a certain amount of time. And Poshmark has guidelines on, how fast you have to ship it and stuff. And the money is taken out of the buyer's account, but I don't get it yet. So the buyer is notified when I've shipped it, because now USPS is tracking it and all of that stuff. And I ship the item. I let Poshmark know, yes, it's on its way, it's done. I don't get my money yet. The way it works is Poshmark, they have their affiliation with USPS, right? And they are just a service. They are not a product. But what they do is in between, they are holding that money. They're holding the money from the buyer. So it's already been taken out of the buyer's account and they're holding it. They don't release it to the seller until the buyer has gotten the item. They've opened it up. They've looked at it and they say, yes, I confirm, Poshmark, this item is as described. They said it has no stains and it has no stains. They said, whatever. The item is as described, I'm happy. Once the buyer gives you, the seller, a rating and says, yes, the item has arrived in the state that I said, they were telling the truth, then and only then does Poshmark release the money and give it to the seller. So I really appreciate that. And I won't go into it, but there are, yes, guidelines on, well, what if the buyer gets it and they just don't review it, and, you know, all of that other stuff. That's all taken care of. They've thought of that. It's too much details. I don't want to confuse you even more. So that's been really nice. And then on that same note, I've been using Poshmark, I don't even know how long, at least 6 or 8 months, I think. And there have been probably 3 or 4 times when I have bought items and I've gotten them, and I've already paid for it. The money is gone. It's out of my account by the time they ship it. So, and I open up the item and it's not the way it was described. It is not what they said it was. Like, basically the seller in their listing, they lied, or they were just negligent and they didn't even notice. I'll give you a really terrible example. There was a fabric, Vera Bradley, I don't really go for brand names, but it was cheap and it was really pretty. A cloth purse that was fabric. And I knew that it was used. I knew that it didn't have like its original tags on it or whatever. Okay, I saw a couple of photos that said it was in great condition, whatever. I bought it. I get the item and it is brown. It is completely stained. It smelled bad. I honestly think the person, no, I won't tell you, it's gross. But it smelled like body odor, and it was stained and it was disgusting. It was unusable. There is a process that Poshmark has for the buyer to say, whoa, 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 don't pay the seller yet. I don't want to pay for this because this person lied. And so you are covered by Poshmark. And what they have is a whole process where you open up, I think they just call it a case. You open up a case, and I, the buyer in that instance, took a whole bunch of pictures. I put it up against a white piece of paper and was like, what? And said, you know, this is not in great condition. This is brown and it is stained. I went and washed it because it was a fabric purse. I washed it on high, you know, I put like extra like stain spray on it, didn't come out. So it wasn't something that I wanted to keep. Like, I don't want to pay for this. I don't want you to keep my money or give it to this person who either didn't pay attention or just flat out lied, you know, to try to make some money. Poshmark will review the case, and in every instance, now this doesn't mean that they always do this, but in my instances where this has happened a couple of times, they let me keep the item so I don't have to like deal with shipping it back or whatever. I keep the item. They gave me my full refund, which included the tax and the shipping and the price of the item. So I got all of my money back. And honestly, I think in the cases where I opened up a case, a complaint, they also paid the seller anyway, which kind of made me mad because it's like, well, but why? They lied. But I don't know. They let me keep the item for free. So I ended up with the stained Vera Bradley purse and all of my money back. A lot of times what I do is there are some items that I just straight donate. I don't try to make any money off of them. And then all of my other items, if I haven't been able to sell them in a certain amount of time, then I take them off of my Poshmark closet, off of my listings, and I donate them anyway. So in no way am I saying don't donate at all anymore. You know, we donate money and we donate items locally and internationally. But just so you know, it's a way for you to make a little bit more money. It's fun, it's easy, it's nice to go shopping and find some stuff really, really cheap that's awesome. If you have questions or you want more details, you guys are welcome to email me or put comments down below. But good luck to you. It's a great way to make a little bit of easy money, and it gets kind of fun. So good luck.